So once upon a time, I got invited to just like a little like hang at my friend's boyfriend's house. And my friend's boyfriend lived above a mortuary because they worked in the mortuary and then they also just like lived there was like an apartment above it. Me and one of my other friends, we go to the mortuary
Mortuary.
and we are just hanging out. I don't remember if there was like a fire pit. I think there was, like, barbecue. This was a little while ago.
Mhm. Cute.
And, like, on the one hand, you're kinda like, "This is kinda cool. I'm, like, at a mortuary." But on the other hand, you're like, "I'm at a mortuary."
Yeah.
So, at some point, we needed water. Necesito
Mhm.
agua. So, my friend was like, "Will you come with me to get the water? We have to go get it." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll go with you. It's fine, whatever."
Okay.
So, we, like, get, like, a pitcher. Let's say it was a pitcher, I don't remember. I was like, "Where are we gonna go get the water?" And she was like, "Downstairs."
Mm.
And I was like,
Why?
"In the in in the side inside of the" and she's like, "Yeah." So we go, and I remember, like, going so you, like, go into a hallway,
Uh-huh.
and then you go down a hallway, and then you go down the stairs into the mortuary. And I remember walking down the hallway, and there were these, like, paintings of what seemed like a heaven to earth to purgatory to hell. The walls were decorated with these paintings.
Mhm.
Now I'm sitting here like, this is the backstage, honey. This is backstage of the performance space.
For sure.
No one's gonna see this except for the person that lives there, which is my friend's boyfriend. We go downstairs into the mortuary. So we're coming behind the altar into the like house,
Girl.
the sanctuary. I don't know if it's a sanctuary. I don't know because it's like a non-denominational, but like Christian based,
Yeah.
probably. It's
Yeah.
probably a Christian. Maybe it is denominational, but like so we come through and we're just walking in the dark because we couldn't turn the lights on in the mortuary. So we have a flashlight and it's just the two of us and we're walking
Why?
because Michelle, I
No.
didn't know that this was a part of the task when I had agreed to do it.
Right. I don't like this.
So we're walking and we're flashlighting and we are like side to side.
Uh-huh.
And we like go all the way to the back and then we have to like turn a corner and then turn another corner. So now we're like in halls, right?
Oh my God.
And there's just a fucking water cooler.
Uh-huh.
Why we didn't
N-
just buy another water cooler?
Sweetie.
Why we don't just have a Brita filter up fucking stairs?
Something. Drink tap water, bottled water,
So
boxed water.
so we're like filling, you just like boop the lever and the
Mhm.
water's pouring and the water's pouring and the water's pouring. And of course I'm sitting there and I'm like, what's down this hallway? And she's like, those are the bathrooms. And I was like, okay, bathrooms. And so then I guess I felt brave because I remember stepping away from her filling this up and I
Crazy.
like go to step into the bathroom. I'm holding the flashlight and I just remember stepping into this room. And when I tell you from inside the bathroom,
What?
there was a on this wall.
Mm-mm.
And
No,
I mean, it
ma'am.
was,
Mm-mm.
and I immediately was like, like, uh-oh. And so I like go back to my friend was like, what the fuck was that? And I was like, I did not do that. Like, I did not do that. And
Mm-mm.
Michelle, it happens again.
No.
I I was like, "We're done. I don't care if it's we're
Fuck
done.
this water.
We're done."
Yeah.
And we grab the pitcher and we just, like, walk as fast as we can with the water, trying not to spill it,
Mm-mm.
up the stairs and into the apartment, and I said, "I will never be doing that again.
No.
I will never do it again."
Uh-uh. I don't like it.
I
Why is there no water upstairs?
I
Question.
a fantabulous question, Michelle.
Why y'all living like this?
Well, what is the point of this?
Why? For whom?
Um, so and, like, her boyfriend just, like, lived at the mortuary where he also worked. And he was, like, nice, like, like, I never
That's
got, like,
cool.
my spidey senses never tingled, like, he was always
Mm-hmm.
very nice to me, always felt very comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, just lived there, and, like, I went, and I was just like, "I'll probably not be in attendance for the next gathering."
Yeah, for sure.
This is our special edition Hollow episode,
Ah, hello episode.
where we will only be doing some ghost stories that Shell sent in today.
It's gonna be so fun. I like ghost stories.
I like a ghost story too. I think most of them are work centric, if not.
Yeah, they are.
They are, yeah. So we're also, well, honey, horror stories at work.
Yes, absolutely.
Halloween. You like a Halloween.
I love a Halloween.
Producer Nicole loves the spooky season.
She lives for the spooky season.
Did you see the Terrifier
I
movie?
am going to see it in a couple of days.
So
This
you
week.
haven't done it yet.
I have not done it yet, but
I, I
I've
have
seen
never
1
seen
and 2. I have
you,
not seen 3 yet.
I have never seen one, but it's on my TikTok like you wouldn't believe. You just
Mhm.
would not believe. And
Mhm.
I'm intrigued by this Arturo the Clown. Um I don't know that I can actually see because I don't like a gore. Like I genuinely cannot handle hearing like people in pain
Oh, honey.
or like anyone in pain. Like I just don't anything in pain. Like if there is
Oof.
squeals or shrieks or screams of pain, it is like it is not fun for me. It immediately is unfun.
Right.
And like it seems like it veers on the torture porn, which
Yeah.
if that's a thing, I'm not trying to say don't do the thing. I'm just saying
Yeah.
it's not been my thing so far. But
Right.
should I? Shouldn't I?
Well, if you don't like to hear people in pain, you shouldn't. There's no way. There's no way around it. There's no way I can kind of like make that make sense. It's not gonna give.
It's not going to
The
give.
people are in pain.
The people are in the
The
pain,
people are in the pain, and it's on purpose. And yeah, yeah.
and that's where we go.
Mm-hmm.
We come to this place
To scream and cry.
to scream and cry.
Are you usually a horror person?
I like a horror picture, although, and for what I know, like I'll go through like phases where I'll watch the films consistently.
Mm-hmm.
This season has been pretty consistent, which is really cute because then I get scared at night. But I'll freak myself out.
Right.
Like I have no qualms about freaking myself out, and I do it
Right.
accidentally. Like I don't do it for fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So like I don't need the like external inspiration
Right.
because, and for whatever reason, I'm nom nom. I snack on it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw X and Pearl.
Okay.
Have you seen these?
I saw what was the first one? Was it X?
X was
Yeah, I
first.
saw X. I didn't see Pearl. I don't really care for Mia Goth too much.
I no. Here's the thing. I had never heard of her,
Mm-hmm.
um, and she's a star.
It's like I just yeah. I'll let
I
her
think
have
she's a
it.
star.
I'm gonna
I
let her
think
have
she.
it.
I think she's super cute. I think she can act.
Mm-hmm.
There was just the whole time I was watching it, I was like, she's got it.
She's not terrible to watch.
Now the movies themselves, I just didn't like them. I just think we could have really leaned into the camp,
Right.
and we didn't. And I am assuming that we had a cishet man
Mm-hmm.
at the helm. I know she was very involved in a lot of it. I believe she's an executive producer. But if you haven't seen, I'm not going to spoil, but like Pearl is the prequel to X.
Right.
So in X, there's someone named Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
That is not one of the like core. And then we meet Pearl later on, and then the movie Pearl is like Pearl's origin story.
Right.
And in this movie, we like to veer into camp a tad.
Mm-hmm.
Now in X, Brittany Snow. Brittany Snow's in
That's
this
why
movie
I saw X. Like it was for Britney Snow, period.
because I love her.
I live for Britney Snow.
Also thought she was a lesbian because I remember when I first moved to LA, I went to a Transfer Project event because I was working
Mm-hmm.
it, and in my brain she was presenting as a lesbian,
Hmm.
but then she married a man who's not a lesbian, and I believe she's since divorced. Anyway,
I don't know.
whether
I
she is or isn't, I genuinely
right.
don't care. My love for her is undying.
Yeah. I
N-
mean, for
Now,
sure.
in Pearl, there is a character
Mm-hmm.
who is certainly farthest away from the Britney Snow in X,
Mm-hmm.
but is of a similar. Whereas in X, Britney Snow is like, she's like, I'm an actor, and like, let's go, let's actor. Like, come on, bestie, let's act. And like in Pearl, there's another character that is kind of the same vein.
Uh-huh.
Also a blonde girl. Why wasn't Britney Snow?
I mean, if it's a prequel,
If we can have Mia Goth
then why aren't we just
play,
going
why
for
aren't
it?
we crossing
That's a
over?
good question.
And then there's a projectionist in the film Pearl.
Mhm.
And this projectionist kind of has, in my eyes, a crossover between two characters in X, one of them being Mia Goth's older man lover,
Right.
which is similar vein to this projectionist. Now, the other thing this projectionist brings is in X, there is the filmmaker, the
Right.
cameraman filmmaker.
Right.
Either the older man lover or that cameraman filmmaker could have played this projectionist. Think he should
Yeah,
have. Why are we going to do the camp and have Mia Goth play
it's
this
true.
character and we're not going to we're just not. We're just going to ignore all of the work that we did to set up the world. Anyway, this is
Also
probably not
true.
interesting. Maybe we'll cut it out. I'm going to leave it in because I do think it is a fair gripe. I have not seen Maxine yet. I have not seen Maxine yet.
Oh, you haven't?
I
I
haven't. It's next.
I like to watch like reaction videos because some movies either I've already seen them or I don't want to watch them all the way through. Like
Maybe I'll
it'll be
do that with the Terrifier movies.
yeah.
Continue.
You're still gonna get like an eyeful. Like no matter how you cut it up, it's still gonna be a lot.
You're gonna watch people get cut up.
It's like like no shade or anything like that. This is not what you're saying, but it's like trying to watch like a Tyler Perry movie and not want to see black people. Like, it's like there's no way to get around it.
We
Like,
can't.
it's not gonna happen.
Got it. It is fetch, as it were.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what was I even talking about? What were we talking about?
Watching reaction videos,
Oh,
Maxine.
okay. Yeah. So I watched the reaction video for it just because I like this person's videos. And one thing about it, it's like I know it's supposed to be like that Hollywood sleaze sort of genre, where like
Mhm,
that early 80s, like gritty Hollywood vibe. So it
mhm,
does give that. That much I can say. It
mhm.
does give that to some level, but I really like those old 80s
The
gross Hollywood.
slashers.
Yeah, because it's like a lot of the people I know aren't originally from California or LA rather.
Mhm,
Nobody remembers when Hollywood was just fucking disgusting and scary and like
mhm.
like literally I had two crackheads try to sell me one white pump one day and I'm like,
A
I'm
white
good.
pump?
Yep, just one
Is
high
that a
heel.
nickname for something, or is it?
Nope, just
Like a
literally a
shoe.
shoe. Absolutely. I mean, that would make sense, but no, it's literally one shoe, and I was like, I'm good. They were like, okay, that's how it used to be down there, and that was what you're going for. So I love that aesthetic because it's just like, oh yeah, remember there was hookers in Hollywood, and it was
There's
scary,
still, there's
but
still.
it was like hooker, like Grand Theft Auto hooker. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't just like go, and it was just that's just what it was. There was
That's
nothing.
what it was.
It was not family friendly. It's like you go if you have to go.
You only go when you gotta go, and you gotta go, and you do that thing, and then you leave.
Yep,
You do the
get
thing. You leave.
right in the car.
Yeah, I did not come to that Hollywood. Yeah, Maxine, I don't have high hopes for it because from what I can tell, this director is really good at something, and it's not what I think he's ultimately trying to do. And
Hmm.
if you like it, you like it. That's fine. I'm just saying there are people who could do it better. And I don't know anything about this director. Just solely watching these two films, what I can project of the third is that I cannot imagine that it will do what
Hmm.
I have been told it will. But honey, shall we hear from the people?
Let's hear what the people have to say.
Let's go. We have our first story. And it goes, I work for a subcontractor. I worked for a subcontractor. They specialized in shower doors and hanging cabinets, closet organizers, stuff like that. It was actually my first real office job that I had ever had. The office was in front, and then in the back was a warehouse where they manufactured the glass doors and everything. I worked in the front in the office as an accounting clerk. One day, I was there with our fabricator. He usually left about 2 p.m. And when he left, he rolled down the door, locked it up, and told me, Hey, I'm leaving. Have a good night. And he took off. It was about 2:30 or so, and a little time goes by, and I'm by myself, and I keep hearing metal moving, like, clinking together, like just metal working. I was kind of a little tripped out because I was by myself. I'm working in Salinas on the east side, which I'm from near Salinas, California, and I know the East Side very well. I like the East Side, but not in the best part of the East Side, not in the best neighborhood.
Mhm, mhm,
Uh,
mhm.
After about 30 minutes of hearing the metal moving around, I kept thinking to myself, okay, no one's back there, Nacho left. I'm assuming Nacho is the fabricator's name. Nacho
Mhm.
left. I get up from my desk to walk towards the shop. I go to open the door to go down the hallway, and I'm met with this ice cold breeze.
Mm-mm.
I wouldn't even call it a breeze. I would call it like a cold wall, and it went through me. It literally stopped me in my tracks. So this cool freeze just goes through my body, freezes me in my place. And I don't know what to think about it because I never felt anything like this before in my life. I felt stuck.
Mm.
After a few seconds, I get my bearings together and I walk down the hallway, and the door is closed. By this point, I'm 2 seconds from literally turning around and running out, but I pushed myself to go through and open the shop door just to see if there was somebody there. There was nobody.
Oof.
Nacho left! I turned around and closed the door. When I felt the breeze earlier, the rollaway door was closed. There was nobody in that shop. There was no way for wind to even blow through that office. That's why I can honestly tell you that what I felt was a presence going through my body.
Mm.
I couldn't get out of there fast enough to go home. I really didn't say anything. I don't really know how to think about what it was that I felt. The next morning, I went to Nacho and I told him, hey, I feel like I should share this with you. I'm a weirdo or something. And then he tells me that before I started, the fabricator that was there passed away from cancer. And every so often, he can hear him. And that was my first experience ever with a ghostly encounter.
Wow.
Ooh, I just thinking about, like, when you're, like, by yourself and it's quiet,
Mm.
and then you can sense something, and then for whatever reason, that silence just gets so fucking loud,
It's horrible.
and your gut just, like, drops in the
Mm-mm.
and you're just sitting there, and you're like you have to go do whatever the thing is to get
Yeah,
out, like, you have to move to get out.
right. That's rough.
Yeah,
I
very
think
rough.
like working alone like that is always just so nerve-wracking because I don't know, my imagination is amazing. You know what I mean?
Ugh.
Every noise has a full story and like a specialized death for myself behind it. So I'm used to like talking myself down. But when
Mhm.
you're just sitting there, you're like, okay, it's probably this. Okay, it's probably that. It's like, it's nothing.
It's nothing.
It's none of those things.
It's not a thing.
So what do we do? And it's like, yeah, you did well because I would have just in my mind, it's like I would love to believe that I would just be like, it's fine. I'm safe. Nothing can harm me. But it's like I don't know that I could do that. Might
Because,
just
like,
be waiting outside for someone to help me.
you don't know what it is. I used to
I don't
work
know.
at the Hollywood Pantages Theatre,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, I literally used to have keys to this building, and, like, if you were the first person there, Michelle, you had to go, you had to, like,
Mm-mm.
open the door. There were, like, emergency lights, but they were very dim, there's not that many of them,
Girl, how's that helpful in an emergency?
and you have to go on, like, it was kinda like a ghost light, but for the lobby,
Oh, I got you. Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
Uh, and you would have to, like, go in and then, like, walk across the, like, foyer to, like, turn the lights on. But then bear in mind, you turn the and if you've been inside the Pantages Theater.
Uh-huh.
Audience, Google Hollywood Pantages Theater. There's Pantages Theaters all around, but I'm talking specifically about the Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Google the lobby of the Hollywood Pantages Theater. It's very art deco.
Beautiful.
Um, it's literally all hollow, like, it's all fake. You knock on any of those walls, you will hear just, like, nothing behind it.
Ooh, I
It's
didn't
literally all fake.
know.
It's facade. It's all Hollywood facade.
Wow.
Still stunning and beautiful.
Sure,
Um,
totally.
but, like, then you turn the lights on, and then you're just in that room by yourself.
Mm-mm.
And that place is definitely haunted because the other thing you have to do, if you're the first one there, you then have to go and unlock the building because there's fire exits because it's a very big theater. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of those fire exits, the locks are manual. There's literally something that you have to, like, put on the door.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can turn on all the lights in the lobby that I want, but I can't turn on any lights in the house. and those fire exit doors are lined along the house.
Mm-mm.
So you then have to go all the way along.
No.
You then go and you take off in one hallway, and then you have to walk across in the dark house
Mm-mm.
to the other side to then take those off. And then you have to go upstairs and then go on that side and take those, and then walk all the way across the mezzanine. And that mezzanine is haunted.
I believe it.
Like, I'm sure the rest of it, I'm sure downstairs is haunted too, but like the only time that I ever felt like, don't fucking be up here right now, bro, is in the mezzanine by myself when I was opening that building.
I believe it wholeheartedly.
All this to say. But I just remember like dreading. And I remember my last day there, I just remember walking away from that building thinking like, I never have to unlock it again.
I don't blame you. That sounds nuts.
It was frightening. It was frightening.
I don't
So
like
that can relate a little bit because you're literally just like in the middle of a task and something makes you stop. Now I've never felt a breeze, like I've never felt that
that.
cold.
Yeah, that got
Cold.
me.
I've never felt that.
No, me either. I've heard it a lot, but I've never experienced it.
Have absolutely heard people talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. That sounds horrifying.
Super don't need to experience it too.
Right. We're good. I would have like called somebody and just been waiting outside.
I would have rolled that roll-up door and I would have called Nacho.
Sweetie, you're gonna have to run right back here
Can you
because
come back here, please?
No.
I'm just not going back in by myself.
I'm sorry, it's just not a thing.
It's
Y'all
not
don't
happening.
pay me enough. You don't pay me enough.
Not occurring today.
Not for this. Not for this. Story 2. Okay, here we go. I work for a harvesting company in a small town, and our office is actually the old mortuary. Girl.
Having been in a mortuary.
I'm not doing it. I'm just
Certainly
not.
No.
No. When I started there, there were stories. Everybody had a story hearing little bumps and little knocks. It seemed like a little more than just settling of the building. I'm open to it. I mean, I'm not scared of it. One thing my grandma would always tell me, if you feel something around you, just tell whatever it is that it's not welcome here. Move on. You have my permission to move on. There's nothing for you to hear. That's my grandma's logic anyway. Solid logic. Stand your ground.
In theater, because like obviously a lot of theaters do have like a haunted vibe. Like the thing that we were told in college and that I did was I would fully, if I felt something, I would just be like, I'm just here to do my job. Please just let me do my job. And it will work.
That anyway, that's a whole other story with those buildings there. Those theater buildings. It's a whole other episode. I've been with this company for 4 years, but one of my first days I went to go to the kitchenette area to get some water. I'm walking down the hallway and I pass the conference room, and out of the corner of my eye, I see someone sitting in the chair in the corner in the dark. At first, I'm thinking my brain or eyes are just playing tricks on me, so I double take. And there was a form there, like an actual person sitting in the chair, like a shadow of a person, but in the dark. It took everything in me not to freak out. I mean, it wasn't coming after me or anything like that. I just kind of let it go and got my water. Like the pivot. It's like, oh well, it's not coming towards me. And get some water.
Well, and the thing that gets me too is like the double take, because usually with the double take, it's gone.
It's gone. You realize it was your hair or the corner of your glasses or whatever, and it's just like nothing. It's like
but
double take.
Double took and it was there, and it was
And
like, yeah, bitch, I'm here.
Hi.
You see me?
I'm doing a meeting. Just go on, get your water.
I'm a shadow, but in the dark, girl.
Seriously, When I walk back, as I get ready to walk past the conference room, I look over and that shadow that I saw sitting in the chair is gone. I wasn't particularly bothered by it, and it wasn't the last time I've seen the shadow in the building. I've seen it coming out of the bathroom, and I've seen it in our supply room, just standing there almost looking at me. I'll see it, look away for a second, and then it's gone. It's funny because everybody has seen something or felt something or heard something. Our gardener, who comes into our office 2 days a week, has literally seen a man dressed in white leaving from the back of the building, walking through the parking lot to cross the street, and then he disappears. to hear things like that, I'm like, okay, not a lot of people move on, I guess. Spirits can still be here stuck. It's just crazy to me, you know? I just find it kind of cool. That's nuts. Now, I have had experience with shadow people, but
Okay.
the most, like, what they're talking about seems like a little bit more formed because you did the double take and then it's still there. That feels like a little bit more than just sort of like shadow people. There was
What's the
one.
shadow people?
So shadow people are literally like, you know, if you cast a shadow, right? But
Mhm.
you're an object. You're something corporeal, and you cast a shadow. It's like imagine just shadows, but nothing there to cast them. They're shape of humans, humanoid figures with no physical form to cast a shadow. They're just dark figures that show up against walls. It's disgusting and
I
it's
would like
terrible.
to not see it.
I hope you never do.
I would like to not bear witness.
I hope you never do because like I saw that growing up. We lived in a house that was like crazy haunted. So I've seen shadow people. It was a terrifying experience. Me and two of my other siblings saw it and my mom saw it. So we were all crying and freaking out. So that was one thing. But like what they're talking about, it feels like a little bit more formed because it's like it's in the dark and you can still see it. So it's like a little darker, a little bit heavier. There was one time I was with, I think I was like in my teens, and Nicole and I were watching something on television, and it was like about stigmata. So stigmata is like this whole thing like where people will randomly have like the wounds of Christ show up on their body, crying blood, the wounds on their hands, their feet, that kind of thing, and they spontaneously occur, right?
Mhm.
So there was a movie called Stigmata. I think this was around the same time it was coming out. So it was like people were using the popularity to put these little shows together and kind of explain it. So
And
we're
this came out
watching,
a while ago because I remember
yeah.
seeing Stigmata, the VHS, and the Broadway
Mm,
video in the video store. Mhm.
this was a minute. So
Mhm.
I was young and I was watching this and I was like, okay, I'm kind of uncomfortable because it's getting kind of like, it's starting to get scary.
Mhm.
And this was like, okay, oh, all right, I'm good. And so I go into our kitchen. And the kitchen is towards the back of the house, but there's a back porch behind the kitchen. That's like where washer dryer and all that stuff is. And then the back door is beyond that. So we had curtains to separate like the back of the kitchen from the back porch. And
Mhm.
the curtains were pulled open because someone had been back there doing laundry. And I go to the refrigerator and I just see a black figure, size of like an average man. So let's say 5'8", 5'9",
Okay.
long overcoat, brown, fedora, and it's just staring. It's just there, and I'm just staring at it
In the kitchen?
in the
In
kitchen,
the in
and like in the back porch area, just chilling. Not no dissipating, no like no like it's just like what's up?
Did it have, like, eyes, or could you just see, like,
No,
the
it was
fedora?
just black. It was just black. It had like the form of a man, wide shoulders, all of that, long overcoat, black fedora. Bitch, the way I screamed. The
Yeah!
way I ran out of that kitchen, like hell was licking at my feet. Like I was like hysterical because it's like usually like we were saying, like you look at something, oh, it's a coat hanging up, and I'm just seeing it wrong. It's just not going away. So I went away.
So I removed myself.
So yeah, there's no like, well, I did want a snack. Like, like,
Let me just
it's
get my
over.
water.
It's over. It's done. The night is done.
What, like, time of day was it?
It was nighttime,
Like a 9 p.m., like a
like a
10 p.m.,
7 p.m. Like it was early
like a 7
evening,
p.m.?
but the sun was definitely down.
Had you ever seen it again? Was it just the one?
No, but if you Google that, that's what a lot of people see. You'll see
I've heard of the trench and the fedora.
exactly. I
Mhm.
had never heard of that prior to that. That was still, it was like a million years ago. So it's like, it wasn't like a thing. Internet wasn't like what the internet is now.
Mhm.
I literally had never heard of it, and I was like, I'm never watching anything about Stigmata again. I don't think I've ever watched any of that
The
shit
movie.
again because I was just like, bitch, I don't know what happened. I don't know what door I opened, but that bitch is
But
staying closed.
close it,
the
queens,
the
close the
door is
door,
closed. We're not doing it.
close the
Yeah,
door.
that fucked me up.
Stigmata. Uh, honey, let's roll into another. I just mm-mm. Okay, story 3. I worked a day job, a night job, and I was in college. So my sleep schedule was really fucked up for several months. One night I was working alone. I did my work and had a few hours of downtime, so I tried taking a nap. I woke up to what sounded like someone inside the building, screaming nonsensically and smashing things. Like some psycho broke in and was tearing up the room. I ran to where the sound was coming from, and by then it stopped.
Mm-mm.
I didn't see anything weird inside the room. Everything was perfectly normal. I yelled, "What the fuck was that?" My own voice came out very slow and deep, like when you try talking through a yawn. What's going on? Same thing. I looked around the other rooms and even outside. Nothing was out of order. I'm confident it was a hallucination due to lack of sleep. After that, I took steps to sort my life out so I could sleep like normal again. And I haven't had any more experiences like that.
I don't know. That feels like more than a hallucination to me.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Like a hallucination for I don't know. I'm not a doctor or anything, but it feels like you hallucinate things that you often experience or see. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
like you'll like I don't know. Like have you ever been like in between like sleep, being asleep and awake, and then things kind of get like a little funny in that
Yeah.
space, but it's like usually things that you would see like, oh, I thought I was talking to so and so, or I thought I heard my phone ring, like kind of common things.
The phantom vibration of the phone.
Right, like that kind of thing, like that to me
Mhm.
is like common hallucinatory sort of things. Like, honey, you heard somebody and they're tearing up the room. That's not it.
And like it stopped when you got to the room.
Why would it do that?
Why would it go on for so long?
That's not classic hallucinatory sort of thing to me. Oh, I thought I heard my dog bark, but my dog is outside. You know, like that kind of thing. That's to me, that
Well,
gives like I misunderstood.
I yelled, "What the fuck was that?" My own voice came out very slow and deep,
Girl,
like when you try talking through a yawn. What's going on? Same thing. Like your speech slowed down.
right.
If you yell, "What the fuck is that?" but your voice comes out
I
slow,
don't know.
I'd be curious to know what this actual night job was, where it was, and like, is it a known to be haunted place?
Yeah, there's a lot of follow-up questions for this one for
Yeah.
sure. Like, has this ever happened again? Any of this? Has it happened? Had it ever happened
Had
before?
anyone else talked about having an experience there?
We have questions.
I just want to know, like, where?
Just have questions. But I
Where?
believe it was something going on for sure.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So I was working cleaning office space for like editing companies that did films. So this place was typically darkly lit. People worked super late, and I would come in late at night to clean up everything, get everything just nice and spick and span. So for whatever reason, they have these peekaboo dolls like in the corners of the place and like on the couches and stuff. If you've never seen a peekaboo doll, it literally looks like someone's toddler is standing in the corner hiding its face. So I looked this up. So these dolls literally look like if I'm just like if my head is down and you can see just the back of their heads and their bodies, and it's like they're hiding, like you're playing hide and seek. So they're like crouched or like kind of like pivoted from their faces from being from view,
But
and
it's just a doll.
it's just a doll, but it's
It
like
doesn't move.
no,
There's
but
no
it's
push me for sound effects.
none of that.
It's just
But
a crouched
it's
doll.
and it's the size of like a toddler, so it's not a small little thing. It's like it's sizable, and
Fuck
they're like
no.
so there's no face on it, and you can't see it, and it's like looks like it's always trying to hide from you.
And
Yeah,
you should let it hide from you out of your house.
just go off and leave me alone.
No.
That's gross. So let's say the doll itself is completely fucking creepy and just not okay. And I don't know why anybody would want to make such a thing. And it's supposed to be like kitschy and fun, and it's just horror. So everything was going okay. These dolls always make me slightly uneasy just because they're like, ugh. Anyway, so one day I'm getting ready to leave and I hear what sounds like one of the dolls dropping off the couch and running its ass around like little footsteps, like little pitter patter footsteps running around in one of the back offices. So I go back there and nothing's going on. I'm like, okay, my imagination, I'm out. This started happening all the time. In whatever freaking room these little weird ass haunted dolls were standing in the corners, hiding their weird faces. I don't even think they actually have faces. And that's the worst part. So I just started hearing like pitter patter of their feet everywhere after that. I went after everywhere I went. It was just really creepy. So no, one night it gets particularly bad and I'm down the hallway and I can hear or rather feel like somebody is behind me. And I get so spooked out in this dark hallway and I'm carrying a bag of trash. I just start hauling ass down the hallway. I can hear footsteps behind me, like those little Chucky pitter patter footsteps behind me. And I'm busting ass to get out of there. And I still have garbage in my hand. And I'm not even going to the dumpster to throw it away. I just get in my car with the garbage and I go home. And I get home, just like, bye. Bye.
Buckle it in.
Safety first.
Girl.
Take a moment. So I said, I get home and I'm still holding the garbage. And I'm like, wait, something smells like cigar smoke in here. One of the dogs followed me. And then I realized it was the trash. And I'm like, no, nothing followed me. But that was really fucked up and super creepy and super traumatizing. And as you can imagine, I did not work there much longer than that. Before I left, I was there again late at night and I see one of the editors like in a room. And he looks up at me and he smiles. I'm like, hey, nice to see you. And he just keeps smiling at me.
No.
And he's just in a completely dark room with the blue light of the screen from the screen on his face. And it's just really creepy.
Move
It's
your fucking
just
face. Move your face away from looking at my face. No.
Something about it is just uncanny. He's not breaking eye contact. He's not breaking his freaking smile. And I get so creeped out that I just turn around and go in and just like break the moment when I turn back around. Oh, so they turn around. They do a double take. They have a double take moment. So they try to turn around, turn back around, and when they turn back around, no one is there. Gross. There was no one there. He wasn't even there. Like the place was so damn haunted and so fucking creepy. I have no words. Like the vibe was wrong even before it went to hell. It was a beautiful place. It was gorgeous. It looked like an Italian castle, but there was something in there. And I will go down. I will go down this ship that there was a fucking ghost, something supernatural in that place. That is a lot.
No. Mm-mm. No.
That is a lot.
Sincerely yours.
I feel like
No.
the dolls were plenty. Like even if those dolls never did anything, the fact that they existed, that would already have me on the ropes.
Well, and I just walking and been like, what the fuck is this?
And why are they everywhere?
Why are these here?
Why are there like 2-year-olds hiding their faces in little outfits?
Why is it?
What is this for?
What the fuck kind of game?
What are y'all doing in here during the day?
Can you just edit your movies?
Like why you gotta do all that?
Can you just clicky clacky typey type?
Just get a computer and a chair. Why are these dolls here?
Why can't we do flowers?
That would be nice. Plants? Just a fern.
A ficus, a fake one.
Nice.
Why the dolls?
And then they're like tip tap Tony and after people. There's little click clack heels.
It says, I worked at a motel that's haunted.
Period. There you go.
Questions where? It wasn't a secret, just something we all quietly accepted. The ghost of a little girl wanders between rooms and the ice machines. Honestly, I was 50-50 on whether I believed it or not. I never personally saw it, but guests and coworkers had. One night after a long shift, I was too exhausted to drive home and stayed in an empty room. I woke up in the middle of the night and saw her, this little girl, standing beside the bed, watching me. I
Mm-mm.
blinked, half asleep, half thinking I was dreaming. And then I rolled over and I just went back to sleep. Which sometimes, I mean, I've had that where I'm asleep and then you're just kind of like, you're like, was that a scary thing? You're like, no, I'm going to go back to sleep.
It
Have you ever
can't
done
get
that?
me.
Just
Yeah,
like,
for
no,
sure.
it's not real. No, my brain did it. I'm going to go back to sleep.
Especially as a
Um,
kid.
yeah, just no, not today.
Mm-mm. I don't believe in you.
The next morning, I got up and noticed pieces of yarn scattered all over the floor. They hadn't
Mm-mm.
been there before. I tried making sense of it, but honestly, I don't even know.
No.
No,
I feel like motels are kind of extra creepy because they're transient spaces. So
I have
people,
a motel story.
oh my gosh. Oh god.
This one time, I had a boyfriend once upon a year,
Mhm.
and we got a motel room,
Mhm.
and we're in the room. I mean, we literally just got there,
Mhm.
and we like literally sit on the bed, turn on the TV, and we're literally just like watching TV.
Mhm.
Next thing I know, something just like takes my eye to the ceiling,
Mm-mm.
and I look up and I see these like brown spots. Faded. It was like a popcorn ceiling.
Yeah.
So it's like popcorn, and there's like shadow because like lights will cast on the popcorn.
Uh-huh.
But then I like look and I see brown spots and I'm like, those are a little more pronounced than like your typical popcorn ceiling shadow.
Right.
So then I like am staring at the ceiling and I couldn't even tell you what was on the TV. And my like eyes start to follow a trail
Oh god.
on the ceiling. And like my eyes are following it and I'm like, there's no way that that's what I think it is.
Well, I'm so bad at listening to these stories.
And I'm like following it and I look.
Oh my god.
And as my eyes continue to go down the ceiling, there's like a big one,
Uh-huh.
like a big stain.
Right.
And this big stain is like right above the seat of the desk.
Mhm.
Michelle,
What?
like the second that I like saw the big stain, which had clearly been like kind of painted over and cleaned, but like not all of it was they didn't get all of it.
Mhm.
I like look up and I see this on the ceiling and then I look down at the desk chair and like my brain knew exactly what had happened.
Uh-huh.
I assume I never got an answer, but I
Yeah.
assume someone sat in that chair
Yeah, for sure.
with a
Yep.
gun
Mhm.
and they shot it. And I like immediately, and I like tell my boyfriend, I'm like, what the fuck is that? And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, look at this, follow that, look at that. What the fuck is that? And he was like, no. And I was like, fucking Lee. So we like get our shit. We like didn't even unpack. I mean, like we literally just got there. Get our
Mm.
shit, run down to the office. And I said, give me a refund right now. And they said, we don't do refunds. And I said, you're giving me a refund right now and I'm leaving.
Mhm.
And they're like, we don't do refunds. And I was like, I just checked into room, whatever the number was.
Mm.
And this front desk person looked at me. She looks at me and she goes, I'll be right back.
Ooh.
And she went and she processed my refund and I left.
Oh man. That is so fucking scary.
I don't remember where we were. We were on a trip.
Were you still out in California?
Yeah, it was in It was like LA, in the LA area. Um, but yeah, that
That's
I forgot about that story.
crazy.
That is a true story.
That is crazy.
Um, yeah.
Mm-mm. And that's why
So
motels are so creepy because you don't know what the hell is going on in there.
anything goes on in them.
Anything,
Lit-
everything goes on in them.
It is temporary housing.
It is. And it's like all your energetic bullshit comes with you.
Behind those doors, people are as much them as humanly possible.
Mm-hmm.
Much themselves as humanly possible. And you don't know
Mm-mm.
what's happening. And then
It's
they
so
leave
true.
and someone comes and cleans it, and then it's someone else's turn.
Why didn't they do the damn ceiling? Like, that is just the moment to gut that room.
Like literally.
Like,
Because it was just one of those things where I was like, I don't know what caused me to like look at it. Like I don't remember. But then all of a sudden I just happened to like look at it, and then my eyes just kind of are staring at it. And then my eyes just like follow the like a trail
mm-mm.
until I saw like a big kind of spray, we'll call it, of the faded stain.
No,
No.
absolutely not. I'm not
So,
sleeping in Dexter's kill room.
period, point blank,
Y'all
certainly
crazy.
not in any capacity. Honey, happy Halloween.
No, y'all.
um, yeah. Uh, I hope you had fun. Maybe you got a little spooked.
Mhm.
Um, Workplace comedy. We are everywhere on social media. We're not everywhere on social media. We're on the Instagram
Mhm.
at Workplace Comedy, WERK Place Comedy. We're on TikTok at Workplace Comedy, WE. Don't forget that E. If you have a story, you can send it to workplacecomedy@gmail.com. The E still applies.
Mhm.
I'm at Sam Everett Baker, Miss at the Michelle O
Mhm.
on Instagram and TikTok. Um, honey, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Today is Halloween, which is what is it, Thursday?
Yep.
So we'll be back on Monday. Today is
Mhm.
Halloween. Happy Halloween. Bonus. Welcome back. We'll be back on Monday. We did last season a Trader Joe's.
Mhm.
Our episode on Monday is going to be an expansion of what actually that was, what Trader Joe's is actually doing. So tune in, tune in, tune in. Honey, any advice?
If it don't feel right, hit it. Never be afraid to just run. I'm a runner. I don't have time for questions. I see other people running. I jump in. I don't know. People say it's ethnic. I'm happy with it. This
Just
reflects where I've actually been in situations. I was at the mall, literally just minding my own business, and like I saw, I think they're probably like older teenagers, but there's like four of them, and they ran past me. And honey, the way I broke, just not me, won't be left behind.
yeah.
And I had to realize, oh, they're running to other friends, but it's in the heart. I'm going to
There's
live.
what is it? There's a TikTok account, and she does Soul School,
Mhm.
where she'll have you seen this? And she'll ask people questions to see how well they know like the Black community or like,
Right.
the culture. And like one of them is, and she'll go and she'll just hold the like tiny microphone and she'll be like, if you see a group of people running, what questions do you ask them? Like that's the question.
Right.
And people will be like, where are we going? What happened? And then and then like she'll ask a Black person, they'll be like, you
You
run.
just run. Like
What questions? There's no time for
there's
questions.
no we could ask questions in 4 blocks. We
Run
can
first,
figure it
ask
out.
later.
That's
Yeah.
it.
My favorite one is she's like, who's mama and them? And people are like, I don't know. And it's just like anybody.
Right.
She'll just be like, who's mama and them? Soul School. Anyway,
I like that.
honey, we did it. Welcome to season 3,
Woohoo!
Workplace Comedy. Workplace Comedy is a work of fiction for entertainment purposes only. All of our stories were sourced from our listeners, the internet in general. If you would like to submit your story, this was the spooky episode. If you have a spooky story, I mean, we'd be happy to do a weekly installation.
Absolutely.
Like, just because the
Absolutely.
season ends does not mean the opportunity does, honey.
Mm-mm.
If you have another workplace horror story, a boss from hell, a coworker of sin, we want to know. We want the love triangles. We
Oof.
want the drama. We want the tea. Thank you
Thank you, everyone.
for working.
Thank you for working. Happy Halloween.